Hare Krishna. So, I'm happy to be with you to present the Isopanisad course. We will start with chanting the holy names of Krishna.
May I briefly introduce you?
You may, if that's really necessary.
As you wish.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome everyone. This is Holiness Bhakti Swami. I know this about so that you know him. Bhakti Swami, born in Brussels, in Belgium, 1960. He met devotees in Kent in the summer of 1992. From 92 to 96, he was very active in Namahatma preaching in Kent and joined the Radhavesh Temple in 96. 94, he met His Holiness Bhakti Swami, who accepted him as his disciple and gave him first initiation and second initiation. On the 31st of May 2015, he was awarded sannyas initiation by His Holiness Bhakti Swami. After his first initiation, he became the first secretary for the newly formed European RGB. He organized the first European leaders meeting and went on several missions for the European RGB. In 2024, Bhakti Swami was requested to become secretary for the global GBC body and the secretary for the GBC executive committee. He fulfilled that role until September 2009. During that period, he attended all GBC meetings and all GBC media meetings and GBC corresponding secretary. Since 2004, he has traveled each year for a few months with His Holiness Prahladananda Swami as his assistant in various East European countries. In 2004, he opened a new ISKCON center in Brussels. From 1996 to 2007, he engaged in management of the Radhavesh projects. And he also served as a chartered accountant, legal director, trustee, teacher, and student in the Bhaktivedanta College. Maharaj also graduated from Bhakti Sastri at the Mayapur Institute and then Bhaktivedanta at the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education, and Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhaktivedanta at Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education from 2001 to 2011, so 10 years of studying. Since 2012, he is serving as the Bhakti Sastri and Bhakti Vaibhava teacher, conducting both on-site and online courses for the College of Vedic Studies. Bhakti Swami is also a member of the ISKCON Board of Examination, a member of the Shakti Advisory Council, and a member of various committees of the Ministry of Sannyas. He also serves as an advisory board member and teacher for ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, Europe and North America. And of course, Bhakti Swami is a traveling preacher, preaching in many different countries. Germany is one, and we all know him very well. He is very often here a guest in Simhachalam. We will have his association for the next 2 weeks, every day. Please take the opportunity to stand before the voice. Thank you all for coming.
Chaitanyamanavistam staptam yena bhutadeshvam upagatamyam dadati svapadantikam Vandeham shiu shiuda padkamam shiu vaishnavamsam Shirupam Sagajatam Sankanaragnatam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savulutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sankalita Shivishakam Bhutam Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Banda Chigatpati Gopesha Gopta Kanta Tapta Kansna Galangira Devinda Vaneshka Vishvana Siddhadevi Panamama Vaka Kauta Visha Kripa Sindhavasha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Vasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Pisatam Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Does everyone hear me clearly? Clearly at the back? Okay. So Isopanisad, I think most of you last week have gone to the nectar of instruction of Padmasamhita, right? Mm-hmm. Padmasamhita is a very practical book. Practice, very important. It's the basis of our practice. And inner attitude we must cultivate to make advancement. And it teaches us how to have good relationships with devotees and with Krishna. But now, Isopanisad is of a complete different nature. This is philosophy. Prabhupada said, religion without philosophy is sentimentalism, leads to sentimentalism and fanatism. And philosophy without religion is dry speculation. But Isopanisad is enigmatic. Enigmatic means puzzling, very difficult to understand. We will see in some of the verses, 3 verses, it's about the words vidya and avidya are used. And they have different meanings in each of the 3 verses. You must know the meanings of the words are different. So it's puzzling. It's for those who are interested, who are inclined to philosophical speculation. But of course, you have 2 kinds of speculation. You have mental speculation and philosophical speculation, 2 different things. Mental speculation is with speculation of the mind that doesn't lead to anything. Philosophical speculation means trying to find out how the scriptures are true, through reasoning. And that so Isopanisad, where does Isopanisad come from? That it comes from the Vedas. But then we have to know what we understand by Vedas. That so you have 4 Vedas. What are the 4 Vedas? Rig Veda, please. Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda. So you have the 4 Vedas. 4 Vedas. So you have the Rig Veda, you have the Atharva Veda, the Sama, and you have the Yajur. Now the 4 Vedas, but each Veda has 4 parts. 4 parts, each Veda. First part is called Samhita. Samhita. The Samhita is the text, the original text of the Vedas. The Vedas are hymns, are prayers. That prayers to the demigods and Vishnu. Vishnu is the object of adoration in the Vedas. And the second is called Brahmanas. Brahmanas has nothing to do with Brahmins. The Brahmanas are the same Samhita text, but between there are recommendations or clarifications of how to pronounce the text properly. It's about pronunciation. That because it had to be pronounced, this Vedas, the Atharva Sama Yajur, has to be pronounced correctly by the Brahmins during the great fire sacrifices of the demigods, that had to pronounce very correctly to have the right effect. That because if they would pronounce a word long and it should have been short, it would have another meaning and another effect. We know the greatest hymn is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But for this small mantra, there are no rules for pronunciation. Even if you pronounce it improperly, like, it's different. When I'm in France, it's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And in China, Hare Krishna, they can't pronounce the R. But it doesn't matter. Krishna knows the intention. There are no rules and regulations. If it's directed to the Supreme Lord Krishna, it affects, but not with these hymns. It had to be pronounced correctly. And this hymn, the third part, is the Aran Yaksas. Aran Yaksas, it may not be 100% correct, but these are the 4 Vedas. for each of these Vedas, there was a specific sacrifice, a specific sacrifice which was performed, a big sacrifice. Therefore, Aranyaka Aranya means forest. These sacrifices were performed in the Aranya, in the forest, because it was dangerous. When it went wrong, then things would burn. So, but for each of these Vedas, there is a certain fire sacrifice that they performed, and they had to pronounce certain hymns from the. But these Aranyakas or the Yaksas, they explain how to perform the specific sacrifice for the specific Veda. And it was performed, I think it's the Iranyakas, not the Yaksas, Iranyakas, anyway. And it described which spoon to use, how to prepare the ghee, how to set up the sacrifice, all the details of the sacrifice were explained, and the mantras to be said, how many foods to place, and everything. That's the Yakas. Yeah, it's not Yaksas, that is something else. There is a full part of each Veda, and now we are coming closer. Fourth part are the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the knowledge behind each of the Vedas. They say there are 108 of Upanishads, but some say there are 156, others say 58, it depends. But there are 11 principal Upanishads. And each of the Upanishads is connected with one of the Vedas. And all Upanishads, Isopanisad, is connected with the Yajurveda. I will show that later on the screen, more detail, with all the detail. But that's the way this is the transcendental knowledge related to these four Vedas. So that's important to understand, that the Sri Isopanisad is related to the Yajurveda. Yes.
How we can make more better understand, like the Upanishads, or one part is the Isopanishad, you said like somehow like a commentary to the Yajurveda or explanation?
It's a knowledge, transcendental knowledge behind, the philosophy behind.
But connected to the Yajurveda, it somehow describes the Yajurveda.
Yeah, it comments on the Yajurveda.
But it is one part, the Isopanishad.
Yeah.
There are more Upanishads, and Isopanishad is one, and this is one explanation, one part of the explanation of the Yajurveda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it possible to understand that the Sri Upanishad is the Krele?
Is it?
The Krele, the source of the Vedas?
Not really, it's a knowledge behind it, the transcendental knowledge. There are 4 parts: the text, how to pronounce the text, how to do the sacrifice of the Veda, one of these books, and Upanishad is knowledge related to this specific Veda. But the Vedas have all the same goal. That's the Vedas Sarvami Bhavidhyam. I am to be known by the Vedas. Yes.
Just to repeat for being sure, so every Veda, like Rig, Atharva, etc., has these 4 parts. Every single one.
Yeah, right.
It's like the structure of the Veda.
But Isopanisad is one of the books connected to the Yajur Veda, but there are others also. You will see that. Isha or Isha means the supreme person, the Upanishad of the supreme person. So this is Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada used this here as the Upanishad because many of the Upanishads, they are describing the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth, that which is also part of the absolute truth. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. We have these 3 realizations. But we will come to that. But the Shirsa Upanishad points directly to Bhagavan, the Supreme Person. Because the Shirsa Upanishad is about the spiritual seeker. And he wants to know the absolute truth. And so we will gradually come to the understanding of the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by verse 17, 18. That so then see. Now we have the invocation. That moment. First, we are going to the introduction, the preface and introduction. So first, to understand the Vedic literature, there's the Prasthana Raya, Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. The Shruti is what's spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. And therefore is called Aparuseya. That's an important term you have to know. Aparuseya. Aparuseya means Purush, means person, human. That Aparuseya means not from not from human origin. Yeah. Not from human origin. That. So we have this Aparuseya refers to the Vedas. And we have explained the Samhitas, the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. These 4, the Vedas. That some scholars have different opinions of the Vedas, but that's scholarly speculation. That some say, oh, only the Samhita is the Veda. But no, the Veda are have these 4 constituents, 4 parts. And that is spoken by the Supreme Personality of God directly. It's revealed to Brahma in the heart. It's coming from Krishna, the Vedas. Also, we have in the Smriti are the commentary by the sages, but some it's a little mixed. the Smriti, yeah.
Did Vyasadeva also write the four Vedas down?
The forward he wrote it down, yeah. That he was the first who wrote it down. But of course it comes from Brahma, Narada. Narada told it to Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva wrote it down. Yeah. So Smriti. Smriti are the commentary by the sages. It are the realizations of the sages of the Shruti text, original text. And you have many forms, the Puranas. There are 18 main Puranas, and 6 for people in the mode of ignorance, 6 for people in the mode of passion, and 5 for people in the mode of goodness, and 1 transcendental. That's the Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost Purana. But also the Mahabharata, stories for less intelligent people to understand. But interesting, in the Mahabharata and also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you have parts that are Shruti. In the Mahabharata, you have Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna, that's Shruti. And what Krishna speaks there in Bhagavad Gita is also called the Gita Upanishad. It's a summary of all the Upanishads. Of course, you have Upanishad. Isopanisad is related to the Yajurveda. I think also the Katha Upanishad, Svetasvatara Upanishad. We will see. And then you have Nyaya, logic. That's the Vedanta Sutra. We will discuss logic a little further. Vedanta Sutras or Brahma Sutras. These are very cryptic aphorism. Aphorism are cryptic, short, explaining an aspect of the absolute truth. But without commentary, you cannot understand. So every tradition who is recognized must have its commentary on the Brahma Sutras. We will come to that a little later. So you have what are these Vedas? The Rig Vedas has 1,028 hymns. In total, 10,000 verses arranged in 10 books. 10 books. It contains hymns to different deities, philosophical hymns, etc. There's a variety, it's not all the same. And the Samaveda is an apology to the Rig Veda. This Veda will only be used in Soma sacrifices. Sacrifices to get the Somaraj and go to heaven, and that the Samaveda. And Samaveda is very poetic, very beautiful. You can find on the internet maybe some recitation of the Samaveda. It's very, very nice. It is said when Garuda moves his wings, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, then the moving of his wings, they are making the sound of the Samaveda. Interesting. Yeah. Then you have the Yajurveda, a sacrificial formula mainly written in prose, so no poetry. The formulas are recited during the sacrifice. Shaktina Balka. Thus, if you want to know more of the history of the Isopanisad in the 12th canto, you can read the story of Jakhna Balkans will lead us too far to mention, to tell the whole story here. And Atharva domestic and philosophical hymns. Okay. Of course, interesting Prabhupada's books that so Bhagavad Gita, we said, is the Gita Upanishad. Gita Upanishad is a summary of the transcendental knowledge contains in all Upanishads together. It's the essence of transcendental knowledge. And because the Upanishads are part of the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita is Vedic. That's why Bhagavad Gita is Vedic. But then Srimad Bhagavatam, yes?
How can we understand? I mean, connected is in this way because it's a part of Mahabharata? Or how we can...
No, Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. It's in the Mahabharata, but it's not technically part of, it's a part of the Mahabharata in the Bhishma Parva, but it is within the Smriti is a part Shruti. That it has another nature than most of them of the Mahabharata. You can see that also when you read the Mahabharata. And so then you come at the Bhagavad Gita, it's of a different nature. It's knowledge. It's knowledge straight from the Upanishad. And we can show that. And if you have a Bhagavad Gita, 220. I give one example, there are others. 220 says, Najaite michasve kadachi nyambut papavitvana bhuyahen, ayonitya sasvayam purano, nahanyati hanyamani sarira. That is are the words of Krishna. For the soul is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being, is unborn, eternal, ever existent, and primeval, is not slain when the body is slain. Now, in the Katha Upanishad, which is also part of the Yajurveda, there's the following verse. Na jayate mechaveva pipachi nayam putachi na babu vakachit. Ayonityasaspato yam purana, nahanyate hanyamani sarya. There are just a few words different, practically the same.
Practically Krishna speaking, but it's actually like the same. That's why it's connected with the Upanishads, what's actually explaining the Vedic scriptures.
Exactly.
That's why we should understand
that it is Vedic. Yeah, Vedic. This is Vedic. But the Srimad Bhagavatam is different. It is not Vedic. Vedic, in the Vedic system, you have those who go for Brahman realization. Brahman, impersonal aspect of Krishna. Paramatma realization, the yogis, that they are part of the Vedic system. And then you have the Bhaktas, the Vaishnavas. So there are these three levels. Krishna speaks about that at the end of Bhagavad Gita. He says, there is, at the end of the 18th chapter, he says there is confidential knowledge, there is more confidential knowledge, and there is most confidential knowledge. That's the conclusion of the 18th chapter. What's the confidential knowledge? Brahman, yeah. Which verse? 1854. Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma Susti Nakanksati Samsavesha Bhutya Mat Bhaktim Nabhate Param. Those who are Brahman, Brahma Bhuta, those who are on the spiritual platform, Brahma Bhuta, are Prashanatma, are peaceful. Now, Susti Nakanksati, they don't lament, they don't hanker for anything. Samsavesha Bhutya Mat Bhakti Nabhate Param. they are ready to obtain, to go to the next stage of realization. But that's Brahman realization. That is the first stage of realization. And what is thus the realization of the jnanis mostly? We will see in Bhagavad Gita when we start next week. Exciting, the first 6 chapters. And the second level of realization is 1861. That 1861 Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Ritsayunatisti Brahmam Sarvabhutanam Yantarudani Maya. That Krishna says, I'm seated in everyone's heart, and I'm conducting the wanderings of all living entities. That was seated in a yantra, a machine made of biological machine made of material energy. So that's Paramatma realization. That we will learn in Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter, 6 verse 7, that says, Shitatmana prashantatsma Paramatma samaita. When we conquer the mind, that it becomes peaceful. And when one becomes completely peaceful in heart, without material desire, heart is pure, that then Paramatma samaita, then you find Krishna in the heart. That's the second realization. That's mostly the yogis, who are pure in intention, they can reach that. Most yogis are not pure in intention. They have mystic powers or other things. And then the highest realization is the Bhagavan realization. Manmana bhava madbhaktum machimam namuske mama vishwasatyante padichoya priyosimi is 1865. And the supreme instructions go till 69. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer obeisance to me. So that's Bhagavan, that's Vaishnava. That's the highest realization, because if you have Bhagavan realization, the realization of Krishna, before you can have that realization, you must see Krishna in everyone's heart. Vidya Vinay Sampane Brahmanagavasti Shunishev Shapakacha Panadasamadaksham. Then 518, so Krishna says, yes, the self-realized soul sees the Supreme Lord in everyone's heart, in the heart of a Brahman, an elephant, a dog eater, and so on. That's Paramatma realization. And Brahman realization, we purified the heart. But for us, it's very simple. You just chant Hare Krishna and hear the scriptures every day, the Bhagavatam. Practically, we have to do only 4 things every day to properly practice the process. Follow the regulative principles, chant Hare Krishna without offenses, little note, and hear the Bhagavatam and discuss it every day, and do service for Krishna. As long as we are doing these 4 things, we will become purified. And then we come to the Brahman realization, we surpass it, we find Krishna in our heart, we see Krishna in everyone's heart, and then we develop love for Krishna, which is prema, Bhagavan realization. So we go automatically through these stages, but we are also going through these stages. But the highest stage is Vaishnava. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is about Vaishnava. At Chaitanya Charitamrita is Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. It's a little more specific, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. But that's advanced. Good. Then we have Sadhya and Sadhana. So you have heard nectar of devotion, sadhya and sadhana. Sadhya is the goal. Our goal is to develop love for Krishna. Prabhupada said many times that every religion who has as goal to develop love for God is a bona fide religion. That's the right goal. But then you have the sadhana, the practice to get that goal. Our sadhana is the process of bhakti. And we find this established through Bhagavad Gita and Isopanisad. That we will hear the knowledge behind established. But then how to do it, we learn in Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction. That's practical. So therefore, you must have sadhya and sadhana, the right goal and the right practice. We will hear about this in Isopanisad, about the wrong and the right practice. That will be a topic a little later in Isopanisad. So Prabhupada makes this point that because this preface and this introduction, that it's coming from a lectures that Srila Prabhupada gave on October the 6th, 1968 in Convent Hall, London, England. Yes?
For the actual question again for a simple understanding that Bhagavad Gita and Isopanisad are the philosophical basic and method of instruction, method of devotion, that are the practical part.
Yeah, philosophically, but of course that it establishes. We cannot just say that Bhagavad Gita is philosophy, it's also a practical book. It is also its practice, but it establishes the right philosophy and the right practice. And the details of the practice you'll find in Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. So, because this introduction here of Isopanisad, and that's interesting, this introduction is just a transliteration of a lecture he gave in London. Yeah, because Srila Prabhupada sent in 1969 some of his disciples to London. That's Shyama Malati, Gaudas, and others. They went to four couples. They did the preaching, started the preaching in London. And they organized then, when Prabhupada came, that he could give a lecture in this Conway Hall, London. You can see pictures of that Conway Hall. If you type in Google Conway Hall Prabhupada, you will see pictures Prabhupada sitting in a very majestic royal hall, I would say. And most of the attendants were Indians who were living in London. Mainly Gujaratis and others, but mostly Indians. And one of, anyway, a lot of stories there. But he told in this lecture, yes, you must accept the Vedas as authority. The Vedas is like the mother. that if you want to know who the father is, you can ask the mother. She's the authority. She can tell you who your father is. So the Vedas are apousia. They are not from human origin, and because they are not from human origin, they are without any defects. But we have these 4 defects: cheating, propensity, our sense perception is not, that does not reveal the reality in this world. It's not just what we see, what is reality. We are in illusion, but we don't realize it. We are acting like being this body. We think ourselves humans, but we are not humans. We are the consciousness in this body, the spirit soul. We are spiritual living entities living in this body and present in this body. But we do not realize it. And we make mistakes that we take sometimes a rope for a snake for a rope, or a rope for a snake. Of course, then you become fearful. You think the rope is a snake, you become fearful. Our senses are very limited. We can see things from between infrared and ultraviolet. That between that range we can see. We can hear things, but we cannot hear the subsonic or the supersonic. Some dogs, they can hear much better, higher tunes than ourselves, 4 defects. And so the Vedas is free from that, because it comes from Krishna. So the Veda comes from the root with knowledge. It is sacred knowledge that Vid could be related to vision, wise, wisdom, that video I see. Anyway, so there are these different ways of seeing the Vedas. Restrictive, we say these are the 4 Vedas. That or others say average, it's all the Vedic literature, but then is the question, what is Vedic literature? And an expansive level is, and we find that also in the Bhagavad Gita, that Veda means all knowledge. That I think it's in 7.2 Bhagavad Gita. Jnanantyam savihyanamidam bhakshamasheshata yatyatvaneambunyam jnanatavna apavashishat. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. Thus being known, nothing further shall remain to be known, Krishna says. That because everything comes from Krishna, all knowledge. That's the expansive level. And then now we have this introduction. Prabhupada speaks about the 4 defects. Vedas give universal and axiomatic wisdom. Vedic knowledge is superior to Pradyaksha and Anuman. Krishna is the only way to know about the transcendental realm. Krishna is the ultimate goal of the Vedas, and the history of the Vedas and the Vedic essence is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will go over this. So these 6 systems of philosophy, a little further we will show you where it belongs, but factually they are philosophies which are based on the Vedas, propounded by Gautam, Kanada, Kapila, Patanjali, Jaimini, Vyas. Most of them are impersonal, atheistic, and they are formed by philosophical speculation, but there is an aspect of mental speculation there, that the Nyaya is knowledge, is reasoning, and mainly there is Anuman and Pratyaksha, but there are others also. Well, there are other systems of getting knowledge. Anuman means to logic. We will give examples of that later. And and Anuman is logic, and Pratyaksha is sense perception. We learn by experimenting, and that is the method of the modern scientist. Only Pratyaksha. What they can see, verify by experiment, that they will accept. But they can, in that way, you cannot get knowledge which is beyond your sense perception. That's not possible. There are things you can't see, are seeing, are hearing. It's all limited. And that Vaisheshika is atomic theory. It analyzes everything to the smallest point, atom. Atomic theory. That Sankhya is analyzing the difference, or trying to discriminate, make the difference between matter and spirit. This is the Dhyanis, is a neti, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. So then at the end, what's left is what I am, is the soul. Prabhupada also applied that sometimes. He went to Gurukul in Mayapur, and he asked all the students who is the most the most intelligent boy. And they all pointed to one boy, and Prabhupada asked the boy to come, and he said, "Show me." He told him, "Show me your head," and he did like that. "Show me your arms," and so he went over all his body, and then at the end, Prabhupada said, "This is all yours. Now show me where you are." And he became confused. So that's Sankhya. That I'm not this, I'm not that. But finally, the consciousness in the body. And Sankhya analyzes and comes to the conclusion we are spirit. But now how to experience it, that I'm a spirit soul. Therefore, you need yoga. Yoga is experience, gives experience of the blissfulness and the peace that one attains if one comes to self-realization. But mostly it's Brahman realization they attain, or Paramatma, maybe, some of them. And then you have Karma Mimamsa. Karma Mimamsa, they go a little further. They build on the previous philosophies, and they say, yes, we are atoms. The body is made of atoms, and we are that's Vaisheshika, and Sankhya says we are not this body, we are spirit, and yoga teaches us how to experience being spirit. But why is the spirit soul engaged in this body? Why we get this kind of body? So they have a restricted view. They don't think there is liberation. That's not possible. That they just don't discuss it. They understand this body comes from a previous life when we had also bodies. And the only thing what's important is that we follow the Vedas and we do the pious things, the right things, and then we will get a better body next life and we'll be able to enjoy more. We may go to the heavenly body and enjoy those. So for them, there is only karma. Karma is supreme. There is no Krishna and no spiritual world, no Brahman realization. There's only karma. That becomes karma kanda. Karma kanda in the next stage, it's a little further because karma mimamsa is atheistic, but karma kanda is theistic. It's worshipping God for sense gratification. But then you have higher than that, you have the Uttama Mimamsa, the Vedanta. And the highest Vedanta is Bhakti Vedanta. That's the highest. That was written by Vyasadeva. Okay. So you have these 6 philosophies. Yeah.
Why it is called Indian thought?
Indian?
It is about Indian thought.
Yeah, Indian thought. Yeah, that was in the Indian tradition, they are called the Sat Darshans, or 6 traditional philosophies in India. If you are born in India and you go to the school, every child learns about these 6 darshans, these 6 philosophies, but they have their Vedic roots. But it's if you are born in India, you learn these 6. But these 6, they are one philosophy builds on the other. And currently one comes to the highest, and the highest is Bhakti Vedanta. It's the Vedanta is the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we are teaching, but that will be the conclusion of Isopanisad. Good. And now we go to invocation.
What about yoga?
Please.
Yoga. Yoga is leading to only for the body.
Yoga is explained in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of yoga is to realize the super soul in the heart, Krishna in the heart. And the highest yogi, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvanam mathananantratnam pachitam pachate yonam sami yukta tame matha. The highest yogi is one who is united with me in the heart in love. And if the yogi comes to that level, then he can start to become a devotee and practice bhakti. So these are all stages of coming to bhakti. But a yogi, as in this outside the Vedic context, is many times misinterpreted. Some do yoga to get rid of some fat or something, or keeping their body healthy. That's not the purpose of yoga. The purpose of the yoga is to to fix the mind, to focus, to control the mind. And the propounder of yoga is Patanjali. You have the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and there you can, if you read these sutras, I went to it when I did my master's in Indian religions. All these sutras is interesting, and that, but it's focused on Brahman realization, the bliss, which is a partial realization of even for the yogis, because Krishna says, Yoginam, the highest yogi is one who realizes me in the heart, Paramatma. And then if the yogi comes to the conclusion, is in that blissful state, and he sees Paramatma, and he understands Paramatma controls material nature. But who is this Paramatma? But it's an expansion of Krishna. And then they become devotees. So it is a stage of coming to bhakti. But we will go to the 6th chapter, that's the last chapter we will go to at the end of next week. And this, because it is a stage of coming to bhakti, and in bhakti we go also to these stages. It contains very practical advice for us also, how to control the mind in the process of bhakti. It's a very useful chapter in that sense. Okay. Let me go to the invocation. What was our plan for today? Let's see. I got it's here. Open. That's our plan. Okay, we went to the introduction, and we will start invocation and mantra 1 at 11. So we did our job on time. Any questions further? Yes.
Between the 4 Vedas, it was described that the Sama Veda is an apology to the Rig Veda, I think. I didn't quite.
Yeah, if we go back, because at the university I followed this course also on the Vedas and Upanishads. Very interesting. That so many things there. Mantra 1, mantra 2, invocation, introduction. Yeah. It's an apology to the Rig Veda, like a commentary on the Rig Veda. It's the Veda will only be used in the Soma sacrifices. Yeah. It's like an appendix on the Rig Veda. And it is these Soma sacrifices, they are used also in the Karma Kanda. And that the demigods, they perform sacrifices with the Samaveta to enjoy Somaras, kind of beverage and nectar, subtle nectar, which gives them great pleasure. But it's not like alcohol in this world, and you become intoxicated and you degrade yourself. It's not that. Anyway, I don't have experience. I didn't do it, but that's what it is meant for. The sum of it. Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah, please.
We said that the Vedas are without before defects, before the becoming from Krishna. For me, it's always a challenge how to explain this to other people that the Vedas come from Krishna, or to not talk about it at all, that we can accept this supremacy of the Vedas, and that this is the highest knowledge we have as humanity.
Yeah, that's not easy because people with an impure heart, they will search for errors in what you are saying and try to bring it down and so on. Yes, Krishna says, don't do that. Don't preach to those who are not austere, who have no faith in me, who are not my devotee. So that is certainly a point. But if they are innocent, you can not envious, and they want to hear from you. They want to be instructed by you. You can tell them that. And then, but what I do many times, yeah, Krishna says, yeah, Deinos minchitade kamram charam charatata antarapapitirastatranamujati. Your body changes from boyhood to youth to old age and so on. That I tell them, yes, that so only the body of Hindus changes from boyhood to youth to old age. It's because you are a Hindu, Arjun, therefore. And Krishna says, one who takes birth is sure to die. So only the Hindus die. All the other people do not die. No, this is universal knowledge. But then there is the point beyond sense perception. And then it becomes difficult because Krishna says, yes, that that when you take birth, you will die. But when you die, you will take birth. And they can say it's not true. Then you can say, prove it. They will not be able to do it. And the same thing with consciousness. Krishna in 2:17 says that which pervades the whole body is indestructible. In 13:34 he says, and that which pervades the entire body comes from the soul in his consciousness. So consciousness comes from the soul. And that there are scholars who say that we will in the future make sure that, yeah, well, they say consciousness comes from matter when it develops in a certain stage. But that's only talk. That Dr. Bhakti Sastri, one of Prabhupada's disciples, challenged such, because he's a doctor in chemics. He challenged another doctor in chemics who came up with that theory. And he said, if we give you the chemicals, can you create consciousness? He said, that we cannot do. That's the problem with them. And if you don't know the origin of life, that all what they say is based on the body concept of life. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And everyone is educated like that. That is the body. Therefore, the schools and universities, Prabhupada said, are slaughterhouses of consciousness. They don't give the right perspective. But that deeper understanding, Krishna gives only to those who are sincerely coming to their senses and who are realizing they are in difficulty. That someone asked, I remember that always, someone asked Bhujan Prabhu, one of my teachers of the Bhagavatam, he asked Bhujan Prabhu, are you self-realized? And Bhujan Prabhu said, yes. I realized I'm a complete nonsense. That's the inner realization we need to begin to understand Bhagavad Gita and Isopanisad. It's not that challenging. You have to understand I'm a nonsense. That's why I'm here. But, anyway, good. We will stop now and we will continue at 11. Jai Prabhupada.